So I've been thinking a lot lately about complaints and complaining. And part of it is because I've got young kids, and it's the reality of our life right now as parents, and we deal with complaints in the moment all the time. And then part of it is even as grown-ups, right? Myself, uh, dealing with complaints and how I handle complaints and the complaints that come out of my mouth sometimes that I process after the fact. And there's just something about a complaint and a good gripe fest that just feels good, right? And complaining, from some, I think, has been brought to the status of Olympic sport, right? Like we all know, don't put their names in the comments. Please don't put my name because you might hurt my feelings. We all know someone that could probably place in gold, silver, bronze if it were an Olympic sport. And there's a lot of perspectives out there about complaints and complaining, and they are diverse. Some view complaints as unfulfilled requests, some view complaints as gifts, some view complaints as overly sensitive people that need to suck it up. Whatever your perspective is on complaints, I'm not really here to argue any of that. Whatever your perspective is on a complaint, I have an experience with them, and that experience is that sometimes they just feel good in the moment. And in the same way that eating a pound of bacon for breakfast in the morning sometimes just feels good, over the long haul, it's not good for you. And as I think about complaints, I believe it's important to distinguish between the occasional vent that can really be healthy and helpful in processing and the chronic tendency to default into a place of complaining about everything. And I've heard recently of a study that was done in the mid to late 90s in Stanford University where they found that through fMRI technology, it actually shrinks regions of your brain, important regions, the parts that are responsible for logic and reasoning, right? If you listen to complaining or if you yourself complain for up to 30 minutes, it has a real impact physiologically on your body. And so as I think about complaints and I coach myself through my own personal love affair with complaining, here's some tips that I'm sitting with right now that I'll throw out into the world for all of you to consider and ponder. The first tip is this: if I do need to complain, I need to be thoughtful about also bringing a solution along with my complaint, or a possibility that the thing I'm complaining about could bring along. This, I think, helps me stay not overly focused on negativity. The second tip that I'm sitting with and thinking about, if I need to complain, I need to be super thoughtful about the person that I air my complaint in front of. And I need to ensure that they themselves are in the right headspace to let me have my moment and then bring me back into the parts of my brain that are responsible for logic and reasoning and empathy and compassion. If I'm going to visit the land of complaining myself, I don't need to bring an army of folks with me, right? And fortunately, I have a small group of individuals that I can call upon and have those conversations with in a safe container. The third tip I'm thinking about is if I have a complaint, I need to check my motives and I need to ask myself one question. And that question is this: Self, that's what I refer to myself as. Self, what outcomes do you yourself want in this situation? Asking that one question immediately grounds me and it reminds me of the person that I want to be. There is an impact of perpetual complaining outside of the fact that apparently it shrinks parts of my hippocampus. That impact is that it jams me back into a place of feeling stuck and focusing on a bunch of negatives that I can't control, tapping my energy so I'm unable to see multiple perspectives in a moment. And it also has this incredible potential to spread a mindset of negativity to others around me. So please hear me. Complaints, I do believe they can be a gift. They can be unfulfilled requests. They can be whining. They can lead to wonderful things, and they can be a drag if they are chronic. That's what I'm coaching myself on right now. I hope whatever space you find yourself in, you are well in this season. Take care.